So you're thinking about making a move to Columbus, Ohio, but you're wondering, is the city better? Are the suburbs better? What's the right fit for me? And more importantly, why did Columbus go from a flyover city to one of the fastest growing metros in America? Why are people moving here from places like San Francisco, Seattle, and New York? And why are locals who left for Florida actually coming back here? Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into Columbus's comeback story. We're going to talk about why people left, why they're flooding back, and how the city gives you the best of both worlds: urban energy and suburban space. Jump in. Hey, look, if you're new here, my name is Gagan with the Living in Columbus channel and the founder of the Columbus Report. And we get calls from people like you every single day. Whether you're looking to make a move in the next 9 days or 9 months, we're here to make that transition as smooth as possible. My contact information is in the description below. Shoot me a text, give me a call, schedule a Zoom, and if you're local, just grab some coffee. It's always better to do it face to face. So let's talk about the history of Columbus for a second, because you can't understand Columbus's comeback story without knowing where it actually came from. From the 1950s to the 1990s, Columbus followed the same pattern as every American city: suburban sprawl, downtown decline, and honestly everyone moving somewhere else. The city proper lost population. Meanwhile, suburbs like Dublin, Westerville, New Albany, and Gagan absolutely exploded. People wanted bigger yards, better schools, less traffic, newer homes, quieter neighborhoods. And albeit all of these things, they're understandable. Look, Columbus gave that to them. The suburbs grew while downtown Columbus became this 9-to-5 office wasteland. And after 6 p.m., you could fire a cannon down High Street and not hit a single person. So moving forward, in 2000s, Columbus was sitting at 711,000 people. We were the 15th largest American city in America, but no one was actually talking about us. We were just a college town with some insurance companies. Downtown was dead. The short north, a little sketchy. German Village was expensive but isolated. Franklinton was a forgotten flood zone. And if you wanted to live downtown, good luck finding housing that wasn't a converted warehouse or a student apartment. But then in the 2010s, things started to shift. Things started to change. Young professionals started moving downtown. The Arena District got residential towers. The Short North exploded with restaurants and galleries. Franklinton's art discovered cheap studio spaces, and the people, they were starting to find a place. Suddenly, living in the city became cool. It became hip. And in the 2020s, things changed. Primarily, the coronavirus, COVID hit, and instead of killing cities like everyone predicted, it accelerated Columbus's growth. Why? Because remote work meant tech workers could leave expensive coastal cities and move to affordable places like the 614. They kept their $150,000 San Francisco salaries but paid Columbus's $320,000 home price. Between 2020 and 2024, Columbus gained 15,000 people. The metro added over 100,000 people, and we were the 14th largest city in America. We were about to cross 1 million people by 2030. So what's going on in 2026? Well, today's Columbus is nothing like 2000's Columbus. Downtown residents has over 15,000 residents, and it's growing by 50% by 2028. The Short North is steadily looking at about $500,000 in home prices. Franklinton's median home price is hovering around $220,000 compared to $65,000 in 2010. German Village, we're looking at $625,000. Tech unicorns like Root Insurance and Cover My Meds are billion-dollar exits. Intel has committed a lot of money to build here. Look, we're gonna talk about that. We're adding things like transit, infrastructure, and density. Columbus isn't coming back. Columbus has arrived with a lot more people. But then the question remains, can the city keep up? First, let's talk about why people actually left. So we need to understand this, right? Let's actually break it down. Reason number one was schools. Columbus City schools have historically struggled, and when families have kids, schools become priority number one. Now look, I'm not saying this school is great or this system here is better. I'm telling you why people made that migration to other locations. Families, according to niche.com here, fled to areas like Dublin with top-tier schools, according to niche.com, and a $600,000 price tag. New Albany, places with, again, luxury homes and an $850,000 price tag. Upper Arlington established schools with a $570,000 price tag. Worthington with strong schools and a $420,000 price tag. Look, can you really blame them? Now, as a professional agent, I can't tell you to go here or go there, but as a person, especially with kids, it becomes apparent. School quality drives property values everywhere. The second reason, honestly, it's not as obvious, but space. City living meant smaller lots, attached homes, no yard. Suburbs offered things like half an acre, driveways, garage spaces, backyards for the kids and the dog. People wanted space, and the suburbs delivered. Reason number 3 is safety perception. Look, right or wrong, people perceived downtown as unsafe. Whether it was the crime stats or just the vibes, families didn't want to raise kids in the city. Reason number 4 and 5 are absolutely crazy, and stick around because we're going to talk about all of these things and what it means today. But reason number 4, and this is a little ironic, is affordability. Look, in the 1990s to 2000s, suburban homes were oftentimes cheaper than urban homes because new constructions in the suburbs undercut older urban housing stock. But here's the thing that no one actually mentioned. That same exodus, it created opportunity. When everyone fled to the suburbs, urban price values crashed. Smart investors bought up things in the short North Victorian for $80,000 to $120,000. German Village homes sold between $180,000 to $250,000. Franklinton's home went for $40,000 to $65,000. But those exact same homes today, we're looking at short North between $500,000 and $700,000, German Village between $600,000 and $800,000, and Franklinton between $220,000 and $280,000. The people who bought during the Exodus became millionaires. And honestly, it makes sense, like Warren Buffett says. When people are selling, you buy. When people are buying, you sell. But the question also then remains, why are people coming back? And this story is something that we need to explore. There's so much happening with, honestly, everything in the city, and I'm not saying that you can't find the perfect deal or the perfect opportunity as it is. If you are still interested in making that migration to Columbus, Ohio, or you live here and you're just wondering where you should go, homes, the whole shebang, give our team a call. I'll put our number right here. Shoot us a text. Let's chat soon. But let's talk about the comeback drivers first. And there's a few things that most people don't realize. Number 1 is downtown living. It actually became viable. In the 2000s, you couldn't really live downtown unless you were okay with certain sketchy covered warehouses. Today, Columbus has over 15,000 downtown residents. Luxury high-rises, 80 on the Commons, the Dispatch Building, Jeffrey Place Park, walkable neighborhoods, the Short North, the Arena District, the Brewery District as well. We have things like restaurants and bars and entertainments all within walking distance. Now, is Columbus a walkable city? That's a whole different video. The answer is no, but downtown has definitely accelerated that notion. People can live downtown and actually have a life and not just survive. The second thing is the remote work revolution. Look, COVID unlocked remote work, and suddenly tech workers making $150,000 to $200,000 in San Francisco could move to Columbus and keep their salary. A $1.8 billion San Francisco condo became a $450,000 Short North townhouse. Same income, 75% lower housing cost. Columbus saw this massive influx of remote workers from 2020 to 2023, and they brought money, energy, and demand. The third driver now was the tech scene. It became real. Look, Columbus isn't trying to have a tech scene anymore. We have one. There's unicorns that were born here. CoverMyMeds got acquired for $1.1 billion. Root Insurance went public and they're valued at $6 billion on the peak. Olive AI was the healthcare tech unicorn, although they're struggling post-COVID. VC firms like Drive Capital manage over $3 billion and invest right here in Columbus startups. Ohio State Innovation District is creating this Silicon Yard for tech companies. Young professionals are all moving to Columbus for tech jobs, not despite them. And look, this is very, very same for another industry, military defense. Because albeit Intel has paused a few things here and there, Andreal has not. And we still get texts from clients looking to move here because of job opportunities from places and companies like Andreal. The fourth thing was the actual architecture and the character remains. What makes Columbus different from cities like Dallas, Phoenix, and even Charlotte is that Columbus has decent architecture, real, historic, beautiful architecture. In the short north, you can get Victorian townhouses with brick facades and 12-foot ceilings. In the German village, you can get brick street and German immigrant homes from the 1800s. In Italian village, you got Italian Renaissance homes with carved stones and arched windows. In Victorian village, you've got Queen Anne's Victorian with turrets and wraparound porches. And here's the kicker. Columbus isn't tearing these things down, we're actually renovating them. We're preserving them, and you're getting modern interior with historic exterior. In fact, in places like German Village, it's actually really difficult to do any kind of changes to your home because they're so scrutinizing about every single activity. Compare that to places like Dallas or Phoenix where everything is new construction, cookie cutter stucco, and has zero character. Columbus is winning in these categories as well. The fifth driver is that the single-family urban home advantage exists. Most cities, when they densify, they tear down single-family homes and build apartment towers. Albeit Columbus has its fair shares of apartment, but Columbus is also doing something different. We're keeping those single-family homes and adding density strategically. You can buy a single-family home in Italian Village, Victorian Village, Clintonville, or Franklinton and still be within a 10-minute drive of downtown. Try doing this in places like Chicago, Denver, or Seattle. You can't. Urban single-family homes in those markets, we're talking $800,000 to 1.2. In Columbus, we're talking $350,000 to 500. Now, the sixth driver is something that no one really talks about, but we need to add. The brewery, restaurant, and art scenes have exploded. But Columbus is a test city, which means before any other major market gets anything, it's tested here first. And now Columbus has over 50 different craft breweries. We're talking Land Grant, Wolfridge, Seventh Son. We've got over 400 restaurants in the metro alone, and a monthly gallery hop in the short north, which draws a ton of people. The North Market also has year-round artisan food halls as well, and the Merchants Building is going up sometime soon. The Franklinton Art District also has galleries, studios, and live music. The cultural desert narrative is dead. Columbus has legitimate food, drink, and art scenes now. And in fact, it's not just the inner city as well. Places like Dublin, New Albany, Powell, and even to the west side, east sides, areas like Reynoldsburg and Pataskala now have a ton of options to eat. We're not just talking about one kind of restaurant or one kind of ethnicity either. We're talking about a myriad and a melting pot of food, culture, and people. You can't necessarily say you have that at that price tag in honestly any other location. I think that's what makes the 614 so special. The other thing that we need to talk about is the corporate investment in jobs. Companies are betting on Columbus. We're talking about Intel's $20 billion semiconductor campus. We're talking about 10,000 jobs there. Sherwin-Williams moving headquartered downtown, adding 3,500 jobs. Amazon with multiple fulfillment centers, over 5,000 jobs. We got JP Morgan Chase expanding tech campus in Polaris with over 1,000 jobs. Google with the data centers and cloud operations. You've also got Cover My Meds employees all right here in Columbus. When these billion-dollar companies are moving headquarters here, they're signaling confidence. And then you combine this with the fact that Columbus is a day's drive away from 65% of the United States, and it all adds up. One of the biggest things that I'm personally seeing is Andrew. And as Andrew builds, I'm going to expect that more and more companies are going to come here to build alongside them. It makes sense. When a massive Fortune 500 company starts doing these things, other companies emulate. Think about it like this. Do you know what Burger King's strategy is when they're moving markets or when they want to operate somewhere? It's actually very simple. They go across from McDonald's. How many of those across from McDonald's companies do you think are coming here? When billion-dollar companies signal confidence, that's when you bring high-paying jobs that create housing demand. And the eighth driver here is the fact that millennials and Gen Zs shift. Because we have shifted. Millennials and Gen Zs, they don't want suburban sprawl. They want walkability, bikeability, transit access, restaurants and bars within walking distance as well. They want that European effect. They want community and density. And albeit Columbus is struggling in certain fields here and there, but Columbus is still delivering that downtown with places like Short North, German Village, Italian Village, and Franklinton. The average age in downtown Columbus is 33. That's a pretty young city right now. Most cities force you to choose. Live in the city and sacrifice space, or live in the suburb and sacrifice walkability. In Columbus, you can do both. You can live in Clintonville for a single family home, have walkable high streets at 10 minutes to downtown, Grandview Heights, tiny suburb, walkable. Downtown is 5 minutes away. German Village, brick street, urban living, single-family homes. Victorian Village, we're talking Victorian homes, OSU proximity, and urban density. In Columbus, you're not choosing between city and suburb, albeit we've got some pretty amazing suburbs up north, south, east, and west. You're choosing for your preferred vibration while staying close to just about everything. Look, the second thing that we need to talk about is the cost of living arbitrage is real. Let's do some basic math. That's why I put on my glasses here. San Francisco tech workers, they're making a salary of $180,000. A one-bedroom apartment is $3,500 a month. An annual housing cost is $42,000. Their take-home after housing is $138,000. The same workers, they move to Columbus. Your salary is $180,000. A two-bedroom luxury studio in the short north is $1,800. Your annual housing cost is $21,000. Your take-home is $150,000. That's a $20,000 difference in extra cash flow. And over 10 years, talking about 200 big ones saved. But let's say you wanted to buy a house, and when you do, please give us a call, shoot us a text. But if you wanted to buy that same house in San Francisco with a median price point of 1.4, down payment of 20%, $280,000, 7% interest rate, $8,800, it's a lot of money. In Columbus, we're talking about $320,000, 20% down, $64,000. We're looking at a 7% rate, $2,050. You're saving $6,750 a month. That's $81,000 a year. That life-changing experience is also life-changing money. Now, albeit remote work has slowed down a lot, and a lot of people are forced to go back to their jobs, it's not stopped completely. A lot of companies are still saying, hey, it's okay, as long as you get the job done. And in fact, we have so many people that are reaching out to us from places like Florida, Miami specifically, San Francisco, and even Texas and Seattle that say, hey, I can still remote work. I don't need to go back to the office. I want to look at Columbus. That is really, really exciting. And even if you are living in Columbus and you want to look at other suburbs as well, all of this is prevalent, right? If you are living in Columbus, for example, and you work remotely, why wouldn't you want to look at places like Reynoldsburg, Pataskala, Powell, Dublin? Why wouldn't you want to live in downtown Columbus? Doesn't make sense. You have everything that you need at a cheaper cost. I think that's really, really special. Look, the third advantage is the agricultural density. Columbus doesn't have a strict zoning like many other cities. That means neighborhoods have agricultural variety. Let's say you wanted to walk down a city like Ohio City or Tremont. Yeah, those are in Cleveland, but Columbus has the same vibe in places like Victorian Village and Italian Village. And here's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a $250,000 duplex next to a $500,000 renovated Victorian, next to a $1 million modern build, next to a $300,000 Cape Cod. This creates character, and some people absolutely love it. Some people absolutely hate it. But the one thing that it is not is cookie cutter. It's not sterile. Every block feels different. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about the fourth advantage, the commute advantage. Columbus is actually easy to get around, unlike cities like LA, Seattle, or even Chicago. You're not fighting 19 minutes worth of damages. Even smaller markets like Atlanta and Charlotte, they're a lot bigger in car density. You get my drift? Look, from most suburbs to downtown is 20 to 30 minutes. From downtown to suburbs is 20 to 30 minutes. And with the new Link US BRT launching by 2029, which I am so excited about, it's going to make transit even easier. The fifth advantage amongst all of this is the growth trajectory is just beginning. There's more and more data that shows that Columbus is going to hit 3 million residents by 2050. Columbus in 2024 is where Austin was in 2010, Denver was in 2008, and Nashville was in 2005. I believe that we're still early in the growth curve. The infrastructure is just being built. Now, when the population is growing, our infrastructure hasn't met the demand of the population. I believe that is going to shift. The corporate investments are all happening right now. Look, a lot of people are saying one thing. We have so many people, but it doesn't feel like we're building correctly. And this is it's a very, very understandable sentiment. But I also believe that Columbus is smart enough to realize that, hey, we're a Midwest city and we need to do things differently compared to coastal markets to be better. I think the way that we separate ourselves and do things differently is by building correctly. Let's use Intel as a perfect example. If Intel happens or it doesn't happen, they've already built roads, they've already built a lot of infrastructure to meet that. And people are happy about the infrastructure. Some of them are not as happy about data centers, but that's a different story. I believe that Columbus is going to build infrastructure because we need it. And I think that's one of the best ways that Columbus is going to retain its people. Let's talk about which Columbus neighborhoods are seeing the biggest comeback and where the money is actually being made. Look, if any of these neighborhoods stand out to you or you have any questions about them, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. All of our contact information is down below. We are licensed real estate agents right here in the city of Columbus and Central Ohio. And as much as we love making these videos, we'd love the opportunity to help you find that perfect property. All of our contact information is down below and pinned to the top of the comment. The biggest winner. Let's talk about number one, Franklinton. You heard me right. In 2010, we had a median price point of $65,000. In 2020, 140. In 2024, 230. Projections for 2030 right now are looking at 375. That's a nice chunk of change. So the question remains, so what's actually driving all of this demand in these locations? Well, it's a few major things. Number one is the Scioto Peninsula development, a $300 million mixed-use project. Number two is the Gravity development, $400 million. Number three is Franklinton Art District. We're talking galleries, studios, breweries. Number four is the direct pedestrian bridge to downtown. Franklinton went from this flood zone that no one actually cared about to the hottest neighborhood in Columbus in 10 years. But that's not all. There's also a ton of other neighborhoods that have absolutely been impregnated with people. The second one is the Short North. Look, the Short North just added a 1% visitor fee from midnight through 3 a.m. Some people absolutely hate this and some people absolutely love this. But one thing is for certain, Short North's home price, it has gone up. In 2000, it was $125,000. In 2010, it was $240,000. In 2020, it was above $280,000. And in 2024, it's hovering around that $350,000 mark. That's a nice chunk of change, and that's pretty expensive. So the question remains, what's keeping it so hot? Gallery hops every single month, 100 different restaurants and bars walkable to downtown and to OSU, and Victorian architecture with modern interior. Short North is now Columbus's German Village alternative for young professionals. It's not German Village quite yet, but it's working, and we can give it some applaud for its gumption. Look, the Italian Village is the next thing. We're talking about a median price point of above $325,000, with 2024 hovering even more than that. In 2030, we have no idea what that number is going to be, but I'm expecting it to be above $500,000. Now, albeit inflation is going to hit, albeit a lot of people are going to come here, and that demand is going to raise prices as well. But right now, the OSU Innovation District opening in 2027, proximity to Short North and to downtown, the historic architecture, Italian Renaissance, Queen and Victorian homes, and slightly more affordable homes in the Short North. Smart buyers are snapping up these neighborhoods before the Innovation District actually opens, because when that happens, home prices are going to rise even more. We also need to talk about its counterpart, which very simply is German Village, the wealth preservation play. In 2000, it was $200,000. In 2010, it was $320,000. In 2020, it was $515,000 median price point. And in 2024, it's above $550,000. So what makes German Village so dang special? I know it's what you're asking. German Village never crashes, ever. Not in 2008, not in 2020, just never. Brick streets, German architecture, top-tier restaurants, walking distance to downtown. Columbus has this idea. If you can afford German Village, buy German Village. The German Village is the floor. If everything else falls, German Village holds. Now look, we need to talk about one other location as well, and then there's something special that I want to add. The fifth one is Clintonville. In 2020, the median price point was $155,000. In 2010, it was $185,000. In 2020, it was around that $250,000, $300,000, and in 2024, it's above $350,000. By 2030, people are expecting it to be above $400,000. So what's actually driving the demand here? Well, it's a few specific things. OSU proximity, number one. We're talking professors, grad students, young families, and even just people that want to stay close to their kids. Yeah, there's some bougie people like that. We've also got high street walkability, good schools, we've got consistent 6 to 8% annual gain. Clintonville is that neighborhood that no one talks about, but everyone is quietly buying up. Now look, there is something that I want to add about all of this, and it's very simply the sentiment here. Homes, especially in 2026, have gone down in price point a little bit. I'm not sure when this video is going to go out quite yet, but as of now, you have an opportunity to buy. The median price point doesn't mean anything if you can find a deal, if you can find a great property at a good price point. think about it like this. Our job, you and me, we want to find the property that you want, at the terms that you want, at the price that you want. Everything else is a moot point. So don't let these numbers become fear-mongering. Don't let these massive numbers sit here and scare you into thinking that you cannot find anything, because that simply is not true. There are a lot of our clients that are finding the perfect property at an amazing discount in areas here or even north of 270. However, you will never know until you ask. If you know this, you're cool. Schrodinger's cat. Is the cat dead? Is it alive? You don't know until you open the box. Let Columbus be your Schrodinger cat. Look, if you're still here, please let me know you're still here. I love chatting with you, and it honestly makes this amazing connection and journey even more special when we can just be ourselves here. Columbus isn't just growing organically. Businesses are betting big on Columbus in a lot of different ways. Again, I'm going to use Intel as an example. The biggest economic development project in Ohio's history. 10,000 jobs, $135,000 average salary, entire supplier ecosystems to follow. Now, is Intel for sure coming? We don't know. No one knows. Do I think someone might buy out Intel? Maybe. Do I think Intel might come to fruition? Maybe. The government now has stakes in it. TSMC is talking about potentially partnering up. I do know that if something does come to fruition, I would much, much, much rather, with certainty and certitude, make a decision, especially if you are coming here, then it's just a no-brainer. The second one that we gotta talk about is the Sherman-Williams, especially in downtown Columbus. They just moved their headquarters downtown. We're talking about 3,500 employees, a brand new skyscraper opening in 2025. Brand new skyscraper opening as well. We also got the OSU Exeter Medical Center and Cleveland Clinic. Combined, these healthcare giants employ over 50,000 people in Columbus and drive billions of dollars in economic activity. The Crew Stadium District is something to add too. Lowers Field opened in 2021, but the surrounding development is still building out. Gravity Office Tower, Astor Park Apartments, restaurants and entertainment rooms. This area is becoming Columbus's entertainment district. And then you combine this with the fact that the new $400 million tower is also being renovated. It's just absolutely insane to me. Funny enough, Lowers Field just changed their names and people are not happy about it. If you want to watch that, check out this post right here on the Columbus Report. But we also need to talk about the Easton corporate expansion. Look, Easton isn't just about shopping anymore. We're talking about 400,000 square feet of new office spaces, 800 residential units, and 300 luxury hotels, all breaking ground. Easton is transforming from mall to urban node. You know, one of the things that I'm really excited about is the OSU Innovation District. We're talking $500 million in investment in research, facilities, startup incubation, and mixed-use development, all of which is opening up in 2027. This is Columbus's answer to Stanford Research Park or MIT's Kendall Square. So a lot of people ask me, Gagan, why do you think Columbus's comeback story is different? What makes Columbus such a different city? And there's a few things here that really stand out, but we need to talk about. Number one is we're not overbuilding unlike Dallas and Phoenix, where developers are building 10,000 plus homes per year and flooding the market. Columbus is actually, unfortunately, underbuilding. Annual housing demand can be anywhere from 10,000 to maybe 15,000 units. Annual housing supply, according to the MLS, is about 55 to maybe 7,000. And that deficit is about 2,500 homes. Now, that's not including new construction, and that's not including the MLS data of 2025. This actually tends to create stability within pricing and appreciation consistency. Think about it. If we don't have enough homes and people are consistently moving here, it makes sense that they're going to bicker and fight over the ones that are currently active. The second thing is the diversification in economy. Columbus isn't reliant on one specific industry. Education, for example, OSU exists. We're talking 60,000 students, the largest employer. Healthcare, we've got Cleveland Clinic, OSU Exeter, Nationwide's Children. Insurance, we've got Nationwide and State Auto. Tech, we've got Cover My Meds, Root, Olive Drive. Logistics, we've got Amazon, Target, UPS. The government. I mean, most of our money is actually in the state capital with stable jobs there. Manufacturing, Intel, Honda. I'm gonna put Andrew here as well. If one of these struggles, others pick up the slack. And again, this is where I think Ohio differentiates itself a lot. We used to be a manufacturing hub, and that was just that. But now, we're a lot more than that, and we have different industries that actually exist here. Think about it like this. If AI was the only industry in Columbus, and then the AI boom breaks, we're kind of SOL. However, when there's different industries, and it's not just one piece of the pie, It makes sense. Think about it kind of like how the Warriors versus the Cavaliers are right now. The Warriors, it's Steph Curry dropping 40 bombs here and there, and then he gets tired. The Cavs have Mitchell. They've got a bunch of different players, and their depth is crazy, which is why if one person gets tired, you've got other players there as well. It's a unification of different industries that exist. And honestly, that's why I think Ohio is always going to have some level of stability. The third differentiation that we need to speak about is the transit investment. Look, most Midwestern cities, they gave up on transit. Columbus is betting $2 billion on the Link US BRT. When transit opens, neighborhoods alongside the corridor, they're going to set 20 to 40% in appreciation, and that's going to happen in 2028 to 2029. And God help us if Amtrak comes back to Columbus, that's going to be a whole different beast. So I'm excited about all these things. I hope that you can tell that I'm very energetic about these topics today. But it's exciting to see all this happen. And the fourth differentiation is the migration patterns. Look, Columbus isn't just growing from Midwest transplants. And kind of on the contrary, we're pulling from California. We've got tech workers fleeing the high cost. New York, financial professionals going remote. Chicago, where young professionals want affordability. Texas, where people are tired of the heat and sprawl. Florida, same thing as Texas. We're attracting national talent, not just regional talent. And all of these things are amazing. The fifth difference, and honestly one of the biggest things that we need to talk about, is a runway ahead. Columbus is still early on the growth curve. We're at about 1 million people are projected 1.5 to 1.6 by 2030, or if not the future. Comparing that to places like Austin, who already have 1 million people, they're slowing down their growth. Denver, which is at 715,000, which is already expensive, and Nashville, again at 715,000 people, which cost a lot of money. Columbus is growing fast without hitting affordability ceilings just yet. So the question also remains, right? A lot of our people that are reaching out to us, they're looking at places like Dublin, Powell, New Albany. What about the suburbs? Are they dying? Honestly, no. They're actually evolving. The suburbs are winning. We're talking about New Albany with luxury suburbs, intel proximity, $850,000 median price point, attracting high-level C-suite executives. Gahanna with eastern proximity, strong schools, $365,000 median price point, family-friendly with urban amenities. Dublin, mature suburb, corporate headquarters, $530 median price point, stable, and also growing, especially the Bridge Park, which is adding more and more restaurants and more people. Literally, as we speak, they just approved another project to essentially make another Bridge Park. Places like Westerville, which is a large suburb, it's good schools, $355,000 median price point, affordable family option. We're talking Grove City, we're talking places like Reynoldsburg and Pataskala that are actually growing. The east side of Columbus, which was once considered to just be a dead man's zone, a no man's zone, is now having more and more people that are living here because Dublin and New Albany, it's getting a little too expensive. So what's the strategy behind this? If you want suburbs, look at all the options that exist and figure out what you specifically need. Is it strong school district? Is it proximity to everything? Is it decent price points? Is it appreciation? Is it proximity to jobs? And is it infrastructural investments? Whatever that may be, figure out your why. Figure out what specifically you need and then use that to your advantage. Look, the numbers are existent. We're talking about 1 million people with expected population growth of 3 million people by 2050. Downtown residents are growing more and more, with 13,000 right now and 22,000 in 2028. Corporate investments is over $28 billion. We got tech unicorns with 3 exit worths over $7 billion. The strategy and opportunity is simply this. If you're considering Columbus, now is the time, and not 2030, not in the future, not when prices have jumped up 20 to 30%. You need to look at the neighborhoods. You need to consider what specifically is making you want to move here. Is it families? Honestly, retirement? Is it jobs? And if you are living here, you need to consider the opportunities that exist, whether it be for investments or actually moving to a property. But funny enough, a lot of people that are living in Columbus, Ohio actually watch this channel as much as it's talking about relocation because you want to learn a couple of new things. We've actually gotten a bunch of you guys that are saying, hey, look, Gagan, I want to invest. I just don't know where to start. That's where we come in. I love those conversations so much. The bottom line is this. Columbus is growing. Columbus is bringing more and more residents, and I'm super excited about it because all of Ohio is not. Franklin County, Delaware County, Licking County, this specific area is. And I'm actually going to put a graph so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here because I posted this on the Columbus Report. It's super exciting. So let us know what you think about all this, because I'm super duper curious as to your opinion on Columbus, Ohio. And if you are making that move here, fantastic. If you need a little bit more information, we actually made an entire A to Z masterclass. It's a 6-hour long video. I'll put that video right here. Watch it, and I'll see you soon. Peace.